is your favorite nerdy girl here, Nerdy Girl Reviews, and we are back with another recap for American Horror Stories. I believe it's season 3, season 4. And it's a 4-part episode for their Huluween event. American Horror Stories is currently streaming on Hulu. If you'd like to hear and see the full commentary, keep me live here on YouTube. If you're watching this on Instagram, click the link in bio. If you're watching this on IG Stories, click on the link. It'll link you back to my YouTube channel. I'm also available on TikTok under Nerdy Girl at Nerdygirlreviews. So please stay tuned, y'all, and tell me, am I rocking my best Bride of Chucky? Bride of Chucky, Bride of Chucky. Okay, it doesn't say Tiff, but we all know. We work with the elements. Anywho, we will be right back, and so stay tuned. All right, y'all. XOXO, Nerdy Girl. So before we get into the review, y'all, you already know. We go through all the props. Believe it or not, this really cute and gorgeous looking wedding gown at Rainbow. Okay, you are not breaking the bank. My wigs is not from Rainbows, but again, and is it exactly like Bride of Chucky? No, but it's still blonde. It's still very giving. The jacket is from Rainbow. My props is here, nice and Halloweeny. You can see the psychic sign in the background, and my pumpkin pillow, my pumpkin that I always have yearly. My lashes are Ioni. I believe they're thick and wispy. I believe that's what they're titled. But as you can see, very tip-like. Even down to lipstick. I got this last year. They didn't bring them this year at the Dollar Tree. It is by LA Colors, lipstick, and nice black. And you don't have to always wear it in black, even though technically also Tiff does not wear black. It is kind of more of like a burgundy colors, but I did use it as a backdrop and tinted it in the middle. So it kind of gives you that little flare. My lower lashes are also from LA Colors, Bold Lash. Really pretty packaging, nice pink. And my nails are not from the Dollar Tree. They're from a beauty discount shop, but they're called La Flame Next. And look how gorge that detail. Look how gorge. I kept one off because I need to operate my camera, but isn't this beautiful? Tell me it isn't very Tiff. Barbie, eat your heart out. Nonetheless, let's, and we already know the props in the background of my Target bullseye. I love this psychic ball. It is so cute. And the lighting is from Dollar Tree. Look how cute. You got like $6 here and you have an incredible prop that you could put around for party time and whatnot. Anywho, now let's get into it. I did not review last year's stories because I was going to, but I just kind of like lost interest halfway, so I just didn't bother to go back to it. But this year, since it was only 4 episodes and they pack a wallop, I feel like they kind of played into the whole urban legend motif. Hold on a second. All of like your worst fears coming true. I believe the first episode is only 4 parts on Hulu. It's called Bestie. And you see the trials and tribulation of a new kid in a new town who's just lost a parent, is going through grief, a single parent trying to best navigate their child's grief while praying that they get accepted. And because she's a little bit of an, I don't want to call her weird, but a little bit of an oddball, she kind of sticks out, but very talented young lady. She clicks with the music teacher. They have like a kingship, and she's ridiculed for it. making her sound like she's some old lady and being bullied. And it's pretty tragic and sad. She has no friends. And somehow YouTube is connected because I feel like that's the thing. That's the generation that we're living in, that everything is online and even built in relationships. So she finds commonality with another friend, a prospective friend, who she doesn't see visually at the very beginning, through a YouTuber, an influencer who is part actor, part actress, part drag queen, always talking about um, the spooky, but always surrounded by affirmations. And somehow they click. But then she turns out to be a very bad influence on her, uh, to the point where she does a horrible Halloween costume prank on the same person that befriended her, which was the music teacher. They bond because they've both gone through grief, and he describes how he lost a baby, that was born, stillborn, and she knew that, and this friend influenced her to dress up as his deceased baby, and it was so traumatizing. I mean, it was honestly, your jaw hits the floor because you're kind of like, oh wow, who would go that low? But her little friend was influencing her. And I love that. I will say about American Horror Story, they always have the best soundtrack. They brought back Tracy Ullman. If you remember Tracy Ullman, the Tracy Ullman show, that's where we get The Simpsons from, if it wasn't for that show. And believe it or not, she's really multi-talented. I love Tracy Ullman. Go home, go home. And that was her sign off every show. And I think it was like every Sunday would play. And she's a singer, and she has this really cute track, and they played in the background. So like, I forget what the title is, but it's like they don't know about us, something like that. It's so adorable. But then we find out that the friend has some form of deformity, and you feel kind of bad for her at the beginning because it's like she has a physical disability to the point where she's kind of kept at home and hidden. And then we find out that she isn't the person that we thought she'd be. And as she tries, the last straw was when she physically harms herself because on a dare, and she keeps telling her like, be brave, like that was a brave thing to do, and she physically harms herself. She breaks her own bone. And I think finally it clicks for her. It's time to move on from that friendship. She finally is able to find a friend who then develops into a romantic partner because he has his own deformity. But they have things in common. They both get into college. And somehow he introduces her to some like secluded home, or they're supposed to have like a romantic outing. And then it turns out that he was in on the whole thing with the same girl that she started ghosting. And she meets her demise in the worst way. And they kind of like run into the sunset, which is weird, really weird. That had a weird ending, but it was very still shocking and an interesting watch. Um, that's the first episode. Second episode is Daphne, which gave me a lot of like Black Mirror and what we're kind of going through right now with the whole AI and how our devices are more interconnected with us than the average person. And that's scary because it could actually become very lethal. But tell me, now that I'm talking about the Tracy Ullman show and The Simpsons, wasn't there an episode where Marge, like, somehow she manages to get some kind of like at-home assistance, and it's kind of a robot. I think the guy one of the actors that played 007 plays the voice and monitors everything and falls in love with Marge to the point where he tries to physically harm, if not kill, Homer J. Simpson. So that's what we kind of get here. But the voice here is Gwyneth Paltrow. Very convincing AI, I will say. And then the relationship that she fosters as a virtual assistant to an art dealer and we're in the middle of COVID, which totally makes sense because we were all in seclusion. Then of course you would kind of develop some odd relationship with your devices. I mean, that's what Alexa is and all these other gadgets. And because she starts coming through for him, he genuinely starts having like feelings for her, and so does she. But when there's a wrench thrown into the whole mix because there's an actual girlfriend, she gets jealous and she gets vindictive. And then it snowballs. I won't ruin it for you, but once you find out towards the end, you're like, what happened here? Because it turns out that the device wasn't what it was supposed to be. It was a defective gag joke, and it didn't even have the capability of doing all the things that he was now being accused of, because he committed, well, a lot of these circumstances were all leading back to him murder. The girl who his girlfriend, who they have a sexy romp with, turns out that she has a peanut allergy, and somehow this machine picked it up and sent some kind of salad with peanut oil, and she meets her demise too. And it's crazy. But I can't help towards the end, I was like, was it really defective, or was it really all in his mind, or was she quick to like clean up the whole circumstance, this AI, and pin all the things, all the crimes and sins on her supposed lover? That she's, and in a way, it's kind of like bizarre and unique, because then she would have him alter herself. But then again, they don't let you keep any like personal items if you are sent to jail. So I don't know, but it does leave it a little bit up in the air, which I kind of liked. The third episode is Tapeworm, and very interesting. I think it was like wrapped around social commentary of like the social pressure of maintaining and looking a certain way to be successful, to be a model in today's industries, today's beauty standards, and the lengths that people will do for fame and representation. What I found refreshing too, and this is what I love about American Horror Story and American Horror Stories, that they're not afraid to go with a multi-ethnic cast. And our leading lady isn't the typical, lady, Caucasian lady. She is an African American actress, and very giving me Naomi Campbell vibes. I love that. But what she doesn't, at first she starts with something that kind of similar to Zempic or something like that, to lose weight. And then they're able, she was on it for a while, but then it turns out that because she has other issues with her body was rejecting it and almost causing her heart failure. So she opts for a tapeworm, and the things that she puts herself through, it was kind of hard to watch. So if you are not comfortable watching that, I don't recommend that episode, but it was very interesting. And then how it ends, it's like, of all places for it to come out, comes out in her boo-boo, like her doing boo-boo. And oh my God, the way that it ends, it has a very surprising and jarring end, but I loved it. I honestly found that episode very interesting. Lastly, we have Oregon, and we have this Playboy cad, very, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna hit it and quit it and keep it moving. We have the very talented Raul Castillo playing our leading male, Toby, and he puts himself out there. He's been through a divorce. He's very calculating, very detached to women, but there's always that one thing, and this gave me very Tales from the Crypt vibe. He goes online, something that's supposed to resemble kind of like Tinder, but they call it Pinter, and he finds that one that really messes him up, and he loses a kidney. He goes in search of that kidney to only find out that he's been somehow involved in some form of like male hating cult, very eyes wide shut kind of vibes. and they've implanted something, an organ in him that they will eventually rip out and will go for millions. So he's kind of like an incubator, which I thought was very interesting. I did enjoy that episode, and I recommend it. And it's perfect for the Halloween season, y'all. I loved these 4 episodes. I could have gone for a few more, honestly, but because of the writer strike, we have what we have. But I'm still for it. I'm here for it. If you like what you see, guys, I recommend it, especially for the Halloween season since it's on Tuesday. But yes, y'all, if you like what you see, give us a like, give us a share. If you would like to follow me here on YouTube, hit the subscription button.